anytime you get stumbled up, just say, hey, I'm so glad I could be here on this video tonight. And I'll know it's time. I'll just interrupt you and go another direction.
Okay. We got this.
We got it.
And it may start before it gives us that 1, 2, 3, because it did that last night. It started, and then we wound up. There it is, right there. So you guys are good to go. Hey y'all, this is Ron Musgraves here, guys. I am here tonight, guys, with Lex and Trudi, and we're here tonight. We're going to talk about the state of the industry. But first, I'm going to let these two young ladies, they're going to introduce themselves. Trudi, tell everybody a little bit about what you're doing up there in the Panhandle, and then we'll go over to Lex and see what she's doing down there in Tampa.
Hi, I am Trudi Wycombe. I am owner of Classic Touch Pressure Washing and Panhandle Power Wash Supply. I was washing 16 years full-time before we opened Panhandle. I still go out and wash. I test the equipment, the chemicals, and just get out and have a relaxing wash day. So it's my mental break from the warehouse. So I'm out there washing just like you guys in this 104-degree heat. But no, it's been great this last year. Oh, this year, we're still in this year, barely. But it's been an amazing year, a lot of networking, a lot of new people I'm meeting. I met Lexi and a lot of her guys there in the Keys. So we met for the first time, even though we feel like we're best friends. We've worked a lot together, and we have a close relationship. I think we do with all the Texas team and Panhandle. We work really close together and have a great friendship on and out of the store, or in and out of the store. So, and I'm going to introduce Lexi. She's my buddy over here. Hey, Lexi.
Hey, Miss Trudi. Hey, guys. I'm Lexi Harkins. I'm store manager of Texas Pressure Washing Store Tampa down here in Oldsmar, Florida. I've been in the industry for almost 4.5, 5 years now. I started in a store in Jacksonville with my family, and then got the opportunity to come work with the awesome Texas team here in Tampa. We've been down here for about 14 months now. We're building relationships every single day, meeting new people all across the board, slinging bleach every single day, every week, and we've just been doing really good down here.
Well, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. I love your guys'. You know, let's delve in a little bit deeper here. So, Lex, I'm gonna come back to you, Trudi, on this, because I want you to tell a little bit brief about your entry into the industry, because I know you've told the story a million times, but I know that lots of guys out here, there's always lots of new guys that are watching. Lex, give me a little brief on how you got to this, like in a minute, and I give you a minute, 30 seconds. You started where and you wound up here. Give us the shortest version you can of it.
Yeah, I was in nursing school, and then COVID hit, and then I moved from Ohio back to Jacksonville. When that happened, I started working at Under Pressure in Jacksonville with my dad and my brother who worked there. My dad ran the back half, my brother ran the front half. I got on as parts counter girl. I knew absolutely nothing, knew absolutely no one. From that point, my dad opened up his own business in Jacksonville, Florida, Pressure Point, and my mom came on. We were all working together, but I just wanted to spread my wings and try to do it on my own, make my own mark in the world. So as soon as I saw Heath was expanding to Tampa, I asked if he was hiring, and he was like, run my store. So here we are now 14 months later, and that's what we've been doing.
That's awesome. That's an awesome, awesome story. So people know you're not like brand new. You had like some experience. You were working the counter. You understood the business. Your father, how long has your father been in the business before this?
He's been in 12 years. My brother's been in for 10 years.
10 and 12 years. So they've been around the block a few times. So it's not like in your household you didn't hear about pressure washing, right? I mean,
Right.
So you've really been hearing about it for a long, long time, even though you've only been in the industry for a bit. You know, your life was about pressure washing. Because how old are you? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 26.
26. So see, there you go. Since a teenager, you've been basically living, eating, breathing pressure washing. Trudi,
Yes.
Go ahead. You got a minute. You got a minute and 30 seconds too,
All right,
because I know your story's longer than that, but I know you can tell the short version.
All right. Well, I want to say hey to Chris Berkner and Barry Little. They're watching here today. So, hey guys. So, 2006, the economy took a crap, just like everybody knows. I was a store manager at a fly fishing sports store, and I was actually working with Shane. I actually hired Shane as my employee, and I was helping him pressure wash on weekends. And I got let go of being management because they said my staff lost their ability to, I lost the ability to lead my staff. So they let me go because my assistant manager was cheaper. So then I had 2 teenage boys at home. So I started doing internal cleaning on the weekends, pressure washing with Shane on the weekdays. We built both businesses. I just actually got rid of the internal cleaning 2 Octobers ago. So I was washing, panhandle, and doing internal cleaning for 17 years. Well, not panhandle 17 years, but I had all 3 going at the same time for 3 years. So a little bit crazy on my part. But the reason I got into the panhandle and being a vendor is because, I worked 6 days a week, 7 days a week for 17 years on both these cleaning jobs. And my body started breaking down. There's a lot of physical activity. So I decided I wanted to stay in the industry. I wanted to mentor. I wanted to share my knowledge and help contractors grow. So I opened the store, and I learned a lot back in the day from Ron and AC and a bunch of the other guys at the free training. And that's what got me into the education and the training as well.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff. So basically, you hired Shane. You were his boss. You had all that power over him. And then you infiltrated his business, took it from him, and became his boss again.
Yeah.
I love that story. Girl power at its best. Girl right power. There.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome. I don't know if Shane agrees with that, but we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. So I labeled this stay in the industry, but like we could talk about anything we want to talk about tonight. So if there's something like you guys want to talk about, obviously we want to mention that, Trudi's got a big event coming up for the last 3 or 4 years. She's had one of the largest training events on the planet. It's going to be, it's at a different location. So I don't know the location memorized. So tell me what the location is. What is it again? What's the location?
It is an Edgewater Beach and Golf Resort in Panama City, up here in Florida in the Panhandle. And it's a larger event. It's a larger venue. It's got a lot more around it. There's a lot to do. Restaurants and hotels. It's right off the beach. There's going to be a lot of activities. It's going to be a great event. Our numbers are looking amazing right now. And I've got some great trainers, some amazing speakers. I actually just landed an insurance agent today, and I was talking to them about the paint issues, and they gave me some good insight on that. So I'm going to make a post about that tomorrow. But it's the insight I got is very interesting and not good news for us contractors, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's a tough. The painting thing is a tough thing. Basically the person that's can't hear me.
Yep, you were breaking up for a second.
Paint failure issues and stuff like that in the industry. I like to call it substrate damage instead, because I think I think you do more than just paint. I think that you're an advocate of all surfaces and people out there that are damaging all surfaces. And I know that you taking a stance that it's not really the contractor's fault. Right. I think that it's not the contractor's fault necessarily, but I think that the contractors, as professionals, we have a responsibility to do our due diligence to find out before we spray a house, and ruin the entire house. We need to make sure that we did the best thing we can do. And some of those tips are just doing a test area. That's the biggest and the easiest one to do. What are a couple more tips really fast, just for guys that that what's some of the things? The colors, knowing what the colors are that you need to look for, right? Obviously, if you got the colors that we all know, it seems like there's certain colors that always they just fail, right? Is that
Well, not really. I've seen white, anywhere from white to purple.
okay?
So what I tell the contractor in my class, I tell them to walk when they walk around the house. I always walk around the house. It's always good if you see anything, any damages, to record it. So you can record it when you're done, and they're like, "Oh, you damaged this." You say, "No, look, I've got this video before I started," which is good. So when you walk around the house, look on the sunny side of the house to see if the paint is a lighter color. Natural elements are going to break down this pigment also. That's one thing to look at. Ask the homeowner if they've recently painted, if they've touched up any area, if they've repainted. Yep, if they've repainted, ceiling under the porch. We just had one. Shane tested the house, sprayed it. It was a 3-story house on the beach, six porches, $12,000 to repaint those porches. I explained to the homeowner about the pigment and everything, and she split it in half with us. And so we paid $6,000 and she paid $6,000 and she changed the paint, obviously, so she can be washed. But I had a contractor send me pictures after he watched the house, and he did test spot, and there were big old splotches of where it turned green. And I said, I bet they touched up that paint.
That's the nightmare one, right? When you don't ask the homeowner if they touched the house up or anything. And then the guy does a test spot in an inconspicuous place, right on the side of the house, somewhere behind a bush or something like that. In case it does fail, then it's not going to be a eyesore. And you go do all that and you do everything you're supposed to do. And then you start spraying the house. And then, we don't know until after the fact, right? Because it doesn't happen instantly. And then the next thing bam, you got this cow. It looks like a cow because it's got spots, different kinds of spots everywhere. And that one, I've seen those pictures, man. They look like a nightmare, and I would not want to be in that situation. And that's, like you said, where the homeowner or somebody went and touched up all these different areas, and you did what you're supposed to do, but yet, because in reality, can we really do test spots everywhere like that? No. Maybe you could, if the trim's a different color, maybe you test a piece of trim on the side of the house too, to make sure that, it's, the house is okay, but you don't want to mess the trim up, that kind of thing. Barry's got a question. I don't know if it's a question or a statement, but you might want to read that.
Yes, it does. Any paint. This pigment can be put in any paint. If you have access to the color code, it is R3 magenta. That is the pigment we're looking at. That's what we're looking for. Well, actually, that's what we're looking to avoid.
So that's another good thing in a little RFP is that if we put the R3 magenta in there, the contractor can say, "Hey, homeowner," and if they're not sure, usually everybody has those buckets.
Yeah,
they're in their garage.
Yeah.
They're in their garage, and they could take a look at them. I'm glad we covered that a little bit because there's you got a lot of new information there, Trudi.
Yeah,
that's a lot of new information. And she's going to have some at her event in November, guys. And it's November 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 13th, 14th.
13th and 14th. And I've also got my class at the PWNA. I'll be teaching at the PWNA also.
But you don't know what day yet.
I don't know what day yet. Still haven't got the schedule out, but I will be there the 30th and leaving on the 3rd. So I'll be around to get, whatever they put me in there, I'll be ready.
So Lex, do you hear about these nightmare stories? Any of these guys come in and ever tell you they changed her house's colors?
Not too bad. Not too bad.
Haven't had happen. Well, that's good. It's good. Maybe they're painting those houses down there with the right stuff in Tampa.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah,
Thank you, Barry.
So Lex, what's going on down there at the Tampa store? What are you guys doing?
We are doing some builds, doing upgrades to trailers. That's one of the big things we do here in Tampa is just upgrades and repairs and swapping out the old stuff, getting the new stuff on. Guys going from 12-volt to gas, going from their 4-gallon per minute to 8-gallon per minute. I love seeing when guys go from really small and they're like, you could just see the success coming as they keep going and pushing in their business. So we do a lot of that here. We help a lot of people. Build wise, we've got one build coming out of Houston soon, going to New York. So We've been doing pretty well down here. Every day new people come in. Everyone always says we saw you online, we saw you on Facebook. I looked you up on Google, so word of mouth is starting to happen. People come in and they know someone that's already in here, so it's starting to become like a little community in the Tampa store, and it's
So
been
for the
awesome.
guys that don't understand this, explain this Texas Tampa store. Explain this to me, because I mean, I understand it, but I know guys are going, what's going on here, man? Texas Tampa, and tell me what the full name of the store actually is. What is the full name?
So it's Texas Pressure Washing Store Tampa.
Okay.
That's the full thing. Our main store is in Houston and Porter, Texas. That's the headquarters. That's where Heath and Caitlin are. Tim, the whole crew, they're awesome out there. And then Aaron, his girlfriend lives here in Tampa, so that's the reason Tampa exists. He wanted to be closer to Maggie, so when I offered to come move to Tampa, it took off from that point. So we're an expansion to the Porter store, and then we're basically connected as one. And then we've got Dallas, which is a partner, and then Corpus Christi and Austin are franchises.
Awesome stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome stuff. That Dallas store, it's gonna be that thing up there. If it takes off, it's gonna boom. I mean, because
Oh yeah, they've been killing it.
there's nothing up there in Dallas as far as there's some guys up there, but I just don't. They're gonna get mad at me, but they just don't do a good job. And they needed somebody up there. They needed somebody up in Dallas that was. I would say contractor industry related. There's some pressure washing stores up there, but not stores that are specifically taking care of contractors like you all do. And anybody watching this thing, these two gals right here, these are pressure washing locations that are. I don't want to say they don't have other industries. They do. They cater to other industries like just any almost any business person does. They have other customers, but their primary customer is contractors. Is that correct? Is that a correct statement?
100%.
They're primary guys in here are contractors. That's who they cater to. That's why contractors are coming in and getting these rebuilds and things like that. And I can imagine, man, in Tampa, because we all know in the past, Florida's been like the pressure washing capital of the world. So I imagine you see some pretty old, nasty stuff and some trailers that are pretty much falling apart. And I know that I saw a couple of Heath's videos that he's done some of those restorations in Houston. And it was pretty amazing because I thought some of that stuff was not even salvageable. Yeah. And they made those rigs look pretty much brand new when they put them back together, which to me, wow, it's just, it's an amazing thing to see a complete restoration of a machine, because here we go again. And we can talk about this, but in our industry in the past, no one's wanted to go to that length. No one's wanted to do that. No one's wanted to consider that it's still a viable piece of equipment. We can put a facelift on this. We can repair this. I think until Heath actually made it happen. I know a lot of independent guys that would rebuild stuff. I would rebuild all my equipment. But most of the time when you would go into a dealer, it was always a push to, hey, we got a brand new $25,000 trailer over here. We'll give you $5 for yours. Go ahead and trade it in, and I'm being sarcastic there, but I'm sure it was more than $5. But we all know that used equipment isn't really worth a lot, except to the guy who has it, because it's the moneymaker, right? And, having that opportunity to do those rebuilds and refurbish and stuff like that and add and upgrade, that's a cool thing. That's a really cool thing. Really cool thing. So what do you do for fun, Lex? Everybody wants to know. That's my number one question that everybody says. What do you do for fun besides go to the Keys with Trudi?
The Keys with Trudi was a lot of fun. That was a fun trip. That was a fun trip. I don't know. For fun, I don't know. Be a mom. I love being a mom.
You got a mom? How old is he?
He's 2.5. He'll be 3 in October.
Oh my gosh, terrible twos, man. Terrible.
And they're worse than terrible. They're worse
terrible twos. Well, you get a break right now. You're on video, so you got an additional hour today away. So there you go.
That is true. But we hang out. We go on walks. We go to the parks here in Tampa and Oldsmar and St. Pete. The scenery is
Incredible.
The playgrounds. Yeah,
Well, that's
everyone's
cool.
so nice here. Rides bikes, like there's bike paths everywhere. So it's a nice little town that we live in.
That's awesome. Awesome stuff.
Yeah.
And Trudy's got not only kids, but she's got grandkids. How many grandkids you got, Grandma?
I have two, and I just found out I've got another one. So the baby girl is going to be one in December, and then they're going to have another one in March, and I feel so bad for them. I'm like, this little girl is so spoiled. I babysat her for an hour and a half the other day, and I couldn't put her down. She would not sit and play. I had to hold her the whole time. I told her, I'm like, you better make that girl independent because you're going to have your hands full with two. So I'm actually.
And you have two other babies, two canines.
I do. Well, three. I've got three. I got my boy.
I forgot.
Bulldog. She's still kicking. She's she'll be 15 in January. So she's an old bulldog. But she hangs out at the shop all the time. And I'm actually taking the grandson to go camping with us on the 30th. We're doing Labor Day weekend. We're going to take him to a water park, RV park. So we're going to have fun there. The little girl and new baby will be staying at Nana's for a while. I don't have time for the potty. I'll be running around and having them in my little backpack and working and shipping or something. But yeah, Shane and I have actually been going out a lot on the weekends. We go take the RV out. We go take our side by side out. We take the boat out. So we've worked really hard to buy the toys, and now I think it's time to use them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always fun to use the toys.
Yeah.
I had all those toys, and I like to rent toys now because renting toys is just a lot easier.
Yeah.
Especially when you get to be my age. It's just, I like getting off the boat and just getting in my car and going home.
Oh, I do that anyway. I just get off the boat and go inside and the guy's.
Well, you do, yeah, but he has to have a day before getting that boat ready and then a day afterwards putting it away. I bypass that now. We just rent it. It just makes it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier. But it's always fun to have your own stuff because your own stuff's always better. It's always better stuff. Well, there's a lot of guys out here. Rolanda, Chris, Brian, Barry's still hanging in there with us. We got a bunch of guys out here. Cutter McDonald, how you doing, Cutter?
Hey,
put his thing up.
I can't see any comments or views.
Do you have a phone?
I'm on my phone.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on your phone. Well, that's why you can't see them.
On the computer, I can see them.
Because if you have it on the computer next time, they're right here on the computer. Like they're right there. Like boom, if you're on a computer. But it's too late now. Unless you got a laptop there. Then you can get on your laptop. There you go. You can get right on your laptop. Just make sure the volume's on mute or we'll get a really bad feedback and everybody go, ah! They'll be like, I can't listen. Guys, you got any questions for these gals, man? Let's ask them. This is it. This is the time. We're about 22 minutes into this thing. We want to keep it about a half an hour because we know that if we go past that, even though sometimes we're having a lot of fun, it's a long time to watch three people talk about the stuff we want to talk about, and it might not necessarily be the stuff they want to hear. But while Lex is figuring that out, 13th, 14th November, say the city again.
Panama City, Florida.
Panama City, Florida. That's easy. They can fly in if they're flying into
Panama City,
or they can even fly into the other airport if they wanted to, right? If they
it's about an hour and 15 minutes away.
If they save $600, maybe they want to fly into the other airport, but they can fly into either place. They're pretty close. I think I've flown into both of them.
Yeah.
In the 3 years that I've been coming down there. I do like the Panama City airport though. It's pretty quick.
I do.
Pretty quick airport. I actually like there's an Irish pub there, man, that I want to go to. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
I can't remember the name.
No. Destin? Is it in McGuire's? Yeah, it's a nice pub. It's a nice pub. And all the ladies drink for free.
Why do you think it's my favorite place?
So how do you think that place looks, guys?
I tell you what,
it's a 21-to-1 ratio, man. That's for sure. Well, guys, if you got questions, ask them, guys. We'll put them up here on the thing so the girls can see them. And then if you girls got questions, ask away. So what is in the future, guys? I mean, besides the event coming up, Lex, are you going to the event, or are you staying in Tampa?
I'm not sure. It hasn't been discussed yet. I know Heath's going, but who's tagging along, I'm not quite too sure yet.
Oh, you got to tag along. You're in Florida. That's
I
like
want to tag along.
you're the first person that should, like, you should have first right of refusal on that. Like, it should be, hey, I got to come. He'll bring somebody. I bet he brings, I don't think I've ever seen Heath at an event without 5 or 6 other people, right?
I think he was talking about maybe all the store managers going, which would be me,
Okay.
Tim and Valerie, and then Caitlin's VP.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
So pretty much the same people that are in the Keys.
Minus the Houston, they've got a pretty big team. All those guys were there. Wash team was there, but yeah, they were all in the Keys.
But all the managers were there. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
What'd you guys do in the Keys, man? I didn't hear about this. Did you guys catch any fish?
No.
No.
We caught
No
a hangover.
fishing?
We did catch
That's
guys and a hangover, and my pool caught a banana tree.
Did you go on a boat?
No,
I went snorkeling. I did go snorkeling. That was fun. But the waves were like.
Did you swim in the Pacific and in the Gulf at the same time? Like, did you go back and forth?
no.
Okay, well, if you were on the south side, you were in the Pacific. If you were on the north side, you were in the Gulf.
So we didn't really plan it very well because we thought, hey, we'll get down there and we'll just book it when we're down there. You just can't book things when you're down there. Those boats and everything are booked out for months. So we got down there trying to get on a boat, and we couldn't do anything. So we just.
Did you have to go off the Keys to snorkel, or could you snorkel right there?
You could snorkel right there. The water's crystal clear. But they took us, I think it was 7 miles off to like one of the 3 largest coral reefs. But
yeah, there's a reef. Yeah, all the reefs. Yeah, I went down. I went down there as a kid, and you could just jump right off the pier, and it was beautiful, and all the parrotfish were right there and stuff like that. And I took my kids down there like 25 years later, and we jumped off the pier, and I got back out of there, and I said, "Hey, man, where did the coral go?" And the guy goes, "Check with the people in Iowa. They took it home." I go, "Are you kidding?" He goes, "Yeah, it's destroyed." And I was like, "Oh, wow, it's crazy." Yeah, it is. It's terrible. And that's what happened, because people would, "I want a piece of the reef," and they'd snap it off, and and eventually, when you get 1,000 or 1 million people going down there, and everybody takes a piece of the reef home, there's no more reef.
It's actually illegal to take some of our sand up here in the Panhandle. It's illegal to take the sand off the beach.
They need to make it that way, or they're not going to, it's like the coral reef, they don't want any sand. People don't realize that just somebody taking a little bitty piece of the reef, and over the years, it's destroyed the reefs. And that's why I said you had to go 7 miles out, because when we were in Treasure Island, where that's at, you used to be able just to snorkel out there. You used to be able just to swim out, and there was a reef out there. It don't exist anymore either. It's gone. So, and that was only like just off the beach, They had a reef, because I remember that. I don't know if you guys are from Florida, so you should know this, but like down there on Treasure Island, you used to be able to walk out because it was nothing but a sandbar, and it was only about that deep, probably almost, I'd say 150 yards. You could just walk out into the Gulf, and it's funny because you'd be playing football on the sandbar, and then the tide would come in and it would wash out the sand, and then sharks would be swimming around the sandbar. But they were just nurse sharks. But everybody would be screaming, "Ah!" Because you got your kids out there. You're only like 8 or 9 years old, and you're playing football, on the sandbar, and everybody's flipping out because they're sharks, but they don't know they're nurse sharks. They're not going to hurt anybody.
Well, I went to the Keys. We went lobstering probably 5-6 years ago, and we went to this huge coral reef, and I was out there, had my mask on, I was swimming, and Shane tapped on me, and I look, and there's a barracuda right in front of me. So I turn around, I'm freaking out. I turn around, and there's a big jellyfish like this big in my face. I'm like, nope. Went right back to the boat, and I sat there. I'm like, I don't think so.
Well, you know how dumb we were? You guys don't know this, but back in the day, the snorkel masks had that chrome piece that you tighten up around it. And a barracuda would actually hit that. Like they would hit it because that flashy metal. So they would think it was a fish, and people would do that stuff and get hit by a barracuda and wind up getting hit in the face. And you don't want to get hit in the face by a barracuda, man. Have you ever seen the teeth on those things? But it was fun. But it was funny because I had that same story. We were snorkeling in the Keys, and we turned around, and a barracuda was like right in front of your mask, and you're just like, wow, like, get out of here. None of that calm shit like they tell you to be like, like, get out of here, man. We're out of the water. I wouldn't even go back in after that. It was crazy.
Yeah. I got in the boat and I stayed in the boat and I never got back in there.
Yeah.
Nope. So
no, Florida's a lot of fun, man.
It is. So for Panhandle, what we're going to be doing, hopefully soon, they've broken ground, but there's going to be a hotel built at the end of that main road. So it's going to be closer to us because, as you know, we're pretty rural. There's not a lot around us. We're going to be doing a lot of in-house training. I've got Trident coming in September to do some training. And I know Greg Tatum wants to come and do some the epoxy floor, which, I love this because we just built a garage and I would love to have an epoxy floor on there. So if they're going to come and train people how to do it and I get a free floor, it's a win-win.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, just get a free floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember now why I don't do lives at this time of the day in Phoenix. Every school kid is getting home right now from school.
Yeah, getting on your Xbox.
And my bandwidth is jumping from 5 bars to 0 bars. But if you think you can't hear me or I can't hear you, just keep talking because at the end of the video, it's all going to come out. It'll all come out perfect. It always does. So we got a solid 3 bars now, and you guys are all at actually 4 bars. I can see your bandwidth too on this program, so it's pretty cool.
Yep, I see. Mine's we actually hardwired this computer so I could go live without having any issues. Yeah,
that's a nice thing to do. Yeah. It always is. It's a good thing to do. But hey, I'm glad you guys had that. That's a blast that you guys had fun in the Keys, man. I was kind of like thinking to myself, I was kind of a little bit jealous because it's a fun place down there for sure. It's a lot of fun, We should do an event in Clearwater right there by you, Lex.
Yeah.
Clearwater Beach. There's a Hilton there, man. It's a nice hotel.
It's just always so busy there. It's so crowded. It's such a small little.
Have you seen the Sand Pearl? Oh, you got to go check out the Sand Pearl. You definitely got to go there. Sneak in to use their pool one time. Just go pool hopping. Sneak in. Yeah, you don't go. Come on, Trudi. You and Shay never jumped in a pool down there on any of those beach hotels. No. My gosh, I would. That would be a regular thing that I would do if I lived where y'all live. I mean,
the good thing was because I had the internal cleaning, I had the gate codes to all these amazing places. So we just used a gate code. We didn't.
You could go. So you could go. So you did it. That's what I mean. And you didn't even have to look like you were doing the pool hopping. I would always laugh at the people that were doing it because you could tell they'd have 2 backpacks on. They'd be carrying a trunk full of a cooler with them. I'm like, okay, they're gonna get busted. And sure enough, they got busted. We went right in because you have to find a hotel. The key is to find one of the hotel towels. And you pop it over your shoulder, and then you just come to the gate and you act like you're just part of the crowd, and you just get in. That's what you got to do.
Yep.
And tell your kids to shut up if anybody talks to them.
Right. We're staying here.
Yeah, we're staying here tonight. We're thinking about staying here.
So, Lexi and I do pretty much the same thing. You get all these guys on the internet. Where's the best place to buy this? And everybody's shooting out their favorite vendor, which is amazing. And the good thing is that almost all those vendors that are being spoken about work together. So, you can reach out to Lexi, and if she doesn't have it, they reach out to me or they reach out to somebody else, and we get that contract or what they need. So, any of those vendors is not a bad choice. I think having a vendor is a relationship. You're going to have that relationship with, whoever your customer is or your vendor, and you want to have that honest, open relationship with them. And sometimes personalities clash. They don't get along for whatever reason. But, I feel like, who do I buy this from? Well, that's going to be a personal, private thing to you. It's going to be, how you feel. Try and buy local if you can to save money on freight and shipping. And then you have that support. If something happens to your machine and you live in Tampa and then you order a machine from, I don't know, New Jersey or New York or wherever, you have it shipped in and then you have a problem with that machine. What are you going to do? So if you buy it in Tampa, you have a problem, call Lexi and say, hey, I bought this machine, got an issue. We've got the support right there for you. So, it's not who's always about the cheapest. You can get it a couple $100 less, but then you've got to think the freight, or you have that instant support with the person that's in your neighborhood and your location. So always think about the larger picture first. It's not always about saving $50 when you have unlimited support in your back door or in your backyard.
Did you guys see that? I know, Lex, did you see that video that Heath made on the rust? He
Yes.
used the groundskeeper. That was a crazy video. That's got a massive amount of it was F9 groundskeeper. It wasn't the rust remover. It was F9 groundskeeper, and it took all that rust up, which was pretty wild. I should have played that video here. That's what I should have done.
Yeah.
But guys, I'm going to give away 2 gallons tonight. I'm going to let Lex pick somebody from the audience and Trudi pick somebody from the audience. And you can choose whatever product you want. I would get groundskeeper if I were you, because I think it's the hottest and best selling concrete maintenance chemical out there right now. I think more and more guys are understanding how it works, how safe it is. And how it is probably one of the superior cleaners. I know guys get mad at me about saying that, but then I always tell them, okay, I'll take the challenge. Go clean with whatever degreaser you want. We won't use any names. Just go clean with whatever degreaser you want. Take the groundskeeper, clean after you clean with your degreaser, and I guarantee you're going to get a different clean. It's going to be a secondary clean, and then you're going to find out. And there are some guys, it's funny because John, he cracks me up. He goes, I don't want to get it that clean. I was like, what are you talking about, John? He cracks me. He ain't going to get mad at me for saying that. But
No.
he actually did say that. So, guys, ask some questions. We're about ready to wrap it up here in the next 5 minutes. So this is going to be quick. Ask some questions to these guys and direct them towards them if you got some questions. I want you guys to test these gals and ask them any industry question. If they can't answer it, I'm sure we'll get the answer for you. But ask a question if you're out there watching, and win a gallon of your choice F9 chemicals delivered to your door. As long as you're in the continental United States, I guess I should say that. We're not shipping anything to England, not tonight.
Nope.
Or Canada. A hat cost me $35 to ship to Canada once.
Yeah.
I believe it.
$35 to send a $4 hat. It cost $35.
So we had a puppy before we had the twins, the puppies, and she passed early. And I had her stocking with her name on it. Her name is Brandy. And I kept it and I kept it and I kept it. And every time I'd open a Christmas box, I'd get tearful. And so I went on my German short hair pointer group and I said, does anybody have a baby named Brandy? I would love to just gift this stocking so it has a home. And of course somebody did. So I said, send me your address. And it was in Canada. So I ended up $30 to send a stocking. But it has a good home now. So, but yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, of course it's going to be Canada.
Hey, Trudi, Ron Jones is watching. Are you selling any of that green ox?
I'm selling a lot of the green ox.
A lot of green ox.
Tell
these guys a little bit about that green ox, because it's a heck of a good chemical. Tell them a little bit about it.
It is actually, that is the only chemical that I have found that works on the pigment issue. The only one. I've tested other hydrogen peroxide based products, and
that's going to be a sound bite.
But I've tested other ones.
It's the only one she found out that works.
It is the only one I've found, and I've tested dozens and dozens of chemicals, and that firsthand. You've seen it. But it's the only one that I have found that works. I actually did a whole boat dock with it because it's EPA approved as a safer product. And I did a whole boat dock with it on a hot day, and they gave me the biggest dock, and the two guys are out there with the smallest dock. Then they're sitting in the truck getting AC while I'm out there working.
So we talked about all the good things, right? It's the only thing you found that didn't have paint fail, which not to say that we can't say that it won't make paint fail. We just haven't found out that it has.
I've tested it multiple times on different
I
paints.
want to put a disclaimer in there because if you sell it to somebody and they fail a house, they're going to want you to paint it.
Right. Yeah, there could be other reasons.
There could be, and it could be you used it wrong as well. But let's talk about the good things. No paint failing as of recorded yet, and then you say it's more of a safer chemical around marine life. Is that
it is EPA approved as a safer product
around marine life?
Yes.
Okay. So that's definitely a plus. Now the downsides to this thing is this can't be downstreamed, and it costs a little bit of money. It costs. What's the percentage ratio? Is it 10 times as much as sodium hypochlorite?
It is. It's like $30 a gallon, and then chlorine's about $2.90 here. It's a little bit cheaper down south, but it is. And then people contact me. I've got this house, and it's I've tested. It's going to fail, so I tell them what to clean it with. Well, that's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
It is not as expensive as repainting a house.
No, not at all.
So
not to mention repainting the house, but all the other things that come along with it. I wonder, and I know Ron's watching, and maybe if he's still watching, maybe he could chime in. Would it, if you had a house that the paint had failed on and you washed it again with the green ox, and if it's a pH thing with the pigment, I wonder if it would reverse it. I doubt it though, because it's probably on the same. It's probably on the same pH.
I don't think so, but I'll test that. I got a board that's got failed paint on it. I've got green ox, so I can test it.
Yeah, because a high alkaline degreaser will repair anodized metal that was damaged by caustic. You know what I mean? And a lot of people don't know that either. And I just want to give some of these guys tips, because a lot of these guys, we want to make sure that if they're watching the show, they can get some cleaning tips in there and stuff like that. But maybe we're not live anymore because nobody wants. I'm going to double it down on this. I'm going to give 2 gallons. I'm going to give 2 gallons of ox away, and I'm going to give 2 gallons of F9 away. What are we doing, guys? Any questions? Somebody might win all 4 gallons. That's a stinking $200 value, right? $1.20 for the 2 gallons of F9 and $60 for the 2 gallons of what do you call it? And shipping, it's probably $250. $250, and we got no questions.
No.
They can't think of one question to ask you guys. Not one. Are they scared? Are they afraid to ask you guys questions?
So I know I did a video. I went out washing this week, and I try to do that often to try new chemicals. And we just started carrying the EBC, and we were hired to clean windows. High, tall windows, a lot of windows. So the first day we tried the Glide. First time we've ever tried it. We did not have to use a squeegee on these windows. This thing was a time saver. It was amazing. The windows were clean. They were spotless. We put the Glide in our batch mix with the bleach and the surfactant. We mixed all 3 together, downstreamed, and it was just amazing. It was.
There's a sign bite for Carlos there, right there. That's gonna be a sign bite.
And
you're gonna be on tomorrow. I can see the ads will be running. Green Ox never failed. Trudi Wickham and Carlos. No window streak. EBC Glide.
Yeah, but it also we put the lemon surfactant in there just to mask the scent. This Glide actually removes all the scent. I could not smell any SH on the job at all, which is awesome if you're doing hospitals or schools, or people get all weird about that smell, which I think it smells clean. But in a hospital, you don't want that going into the vents and them smelling all bleach going into the vents of the emergency room. But it actually eliminated the odor of the bleach. So that was a great.
That's awesome. That really is. That's an awesome deal. All right, I'm going to tell you guys this right now. Here's the link. If you guys share that link, guys, right there, if you share this here, and we don't wind up giving these away on the show, and you share the link, you'll be in a drawing the next time we have the show. And I'm just going to go crazy. The next time we have the show, we're going to give away. We're going to do it in 2 weeks, guys, 2 weeks from today. And we're going to give away a $200 cookbook as well. So we're going to give away a $200 cookbook. And if I can't give away those gallons here, we'll announce who shared them and who wins the next time when they're on. And then we've got an EBC Glide Works Awesome. There's another
we got a new guy. Hey, Gary.
There's another testimonial right there, guys. But there's the link that you need to share. If you share that link somewhere, it'll show on the on my page that you shared it. We'll just simply draw a hat out when we do the next video, and we'll give those 4 gallons of chemicals away. Since you guys are afraid to ask questions tonight, and there it is right there. There's a question. Tim McCullough already, I'm going to assume, since he was the only one to ask, I guess he's going to win at least a gallon of Groundskeeper. Is Groundskeeper-based acid? I didn't use the Green Ox myself, but the guy said it was burning him. Yes, and if you've seen me use the Groundskeeper, Craig hates me telling you guys this, but after so many seconds, it's neutralized, and that's how it was engineered. And I don't believe that the Green Ox is neutralizing itself. I think it's going to need either you. What I've been told about the Green Ox, and you can tell me if I'm right on this, Trudi, is it's a spray and leave on most substrates. You're going to leave it on and let it work. You like rinsing it?
You rinse it. Yeah, you definitely rinse it. And it does burn because it's a very high strength of hydrogen peroxide. So, when you have a little cut on your finger, you put hydrogen peroxide on there and it bubbles up and it stings a little bit. Try that 10 times the amount. It's a stronger hydrogen peroxide. That is what's removing these organics. So yes, when I use it, my fingers are white. It burns a little bit, but it doesn't burn as much. It's about the same as SH. I mean, is my SH strong? I stick my finger in there and see if it turns slimy. And that's how I test my SH.
Tim, are you still doing kitchen hood exhausts? Because if he's doing kitchen hood exhaust, that's why he's asking about the Green Ox, because he's probably heard that it works really good on kitchen hood exhaust stuff.
The Green Ox Pro. I've got a video on the YouTube channel. On the YouTube, I sound like an old person. On the Facebook, on the internet, So we what am I doing? Lost train of thought. So
I love this. Maybe this will get you back into it. I guess he says some of his guys need to suck it up because they're getting burned, I guess. And he said
it does sting a little bit. It's just a very strong hydrogen peroxide, but you can wear gloves if you want to. I don't, but I mean, it's a great product to use for, it's not an everyday product. Everyone's like, oh, it's not going to replace SH. It's not supposed to replace SH. It is for specialty jobs. So if you've got a house that is going to change color if you wash it with bleach, then you're going to have to use the Green Ox. If you've got a house that's got a huge koi pond next to it, you're not going to want to use bleach anywhere near that unless you want to replace $2,500 fish. If you're doing a boat dock, or